Alexio also asked me to start thinking about a new project that would involve you.
I'm all ears, Shotzi.
Jahr Null, Year Zero. An experiment, a reset. A new America.
What's the angle?
Deprive people of their national consciousness, dilute their national pride, do not teach their history.
So the right sphere wants to erase American history.
They don't have that much of it anyway.
When do we start?
Streets, Monument Avenue, statues of 5 Civil War leaders loom over the city prominently. But with the events in Charlottesville, even this former capital of the Confederacy is rethinking how its history should be displayed.
This week we've noted that recent attacks on Confederate statues aren't entirely about statues or even about the Confederacy. Instead, they're an effort to abolish the past and to declare it morally worthless and unworthy of respect. The left, we predicted, wouldn't stop with Robert E. Lee or Stonewall Jackson, but would move on to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and more. Here in the Democratic Party. Watch.
George Washington was a slave owner, and we need to call slave owners out for what they are. Whether we think they were protecting American freedom or not, he wasn't protecting my freedom. I wasn't someone who my ancestors weren't deemed human beings to him. And so to me, I don't care if it's a George Washington statue or a Thomas Jefferson statue or a Robert E. Lee statue. They all need to come down.
And to go further than anyone expected, as Robespierre found out the hard way. Yesterday on Chicago's South Side, for example, a vandal set fire to another Civil War-era monument, this one to Abraham Lincoln. Yes, that Abraham Lincoln, the one who freed the slaves. By the standards of the modern left, Lincoln is a racist, too. He was willing to pardon the Confederates, for one thing, after killing hundreds of thousands of them. There's no way Abraham Lincoln could work at Google. He'd be hauled into HR and canned on day one. So you can see why liberals felt it was important to burn his likeness. You know where this is going. After sending all the statues to the landfill, it'll be time to rip up our founding documents. If Jefferson is so wicked he doesn't deserve a monument on the Mall, why should we honor the Declaration he wrote? If Madison is evil, why would we adhere to the Constitution? Lincoln spoke in favor of malice toward none and charity toward all, but if he's just some dead white racist, why would we even bother remembering that speech?
At least 60 publicly funded Confederate monuments have been removed or renamed per the Southern Poverty Law Center. Where are some of those Confederate monuments and flags now? In July 2015, the Confederate flag was removed from the South Carolina State House grounds. Due to a lack of funding, the flag is still in storage in the South Carolina Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum. In May 2017, New Orleans removed 4 Confederate statues linked to the pro-slavery era. Workers wore bulletproof vests, long sleeves, and face coverings to shield their identities. The city will store the monuments at a warehouse and consider proposals to move them to government or nonprofit entities. In June 2017, St. Louis dismantled the Confederate monument in Forest Park. The Missouri Civil War Museum footed the bill and agreed to store the monument until a permanent new location is found. The location must be a Civil War museum, battlefield, or cemetery, not in the St. Louis County. In May 2017, a Confederate monument was relocated to a public city park in Brandenburg, Kentucky. The monument had been removed in November 2016 from its original site near the University of Louisville campus about 45 miles away. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, there are at least 1,503 symbols of the Confederacy in public spaces in the U.S., including statues and monuments, flags, school and military base names, holidays and other observances, bridges and highways, and county and town names. There are 718 Confederate monuments and statues nationwide, nearly 300 of them found in Georgia, Virginia, and North Carolina. Critics advocate that by removing symbols tied to the Confederacy, American history is effectively being erased.
Alexio also asked me to start thinking about a new project that would involve you.
I'm all ears, Shotzi.
Jahr Null, Year Zero. An experiment, a reset. A new America.
What's the angle?
Deprive people of their national consciousness, dilute their national pride, do not teach their history.
So the right sphere wants to erase American history.
They don't have that much of it anyway.
When do we start?